Hi guys, Retro Trek Ralph here with part 4 of the Doctor Who Dark Eyes Sonic Screwdriver build. This is as far as we are. Right, the lacquer was put on both of these. The electrics is ready on that. Everything up to there is completely ready. This one, however, is complete. This is only, there's nothing in here whatsoever. This is just a 3D print, painted up, screws stuck on, everything's fine, lacquered up. And it actually doesn't, I don't mind this at all. It's a little bit too shiny on here, but they've got to be newish eventually, but a little bit of grub around there. You come down for the wood parts, no button, but let's pretend. It goes all the way to the end of the way. The crystal is painted blue and lacquered a little bit. Not particularly good with the lacquer, unfortunately, but like I said, this could be an easy convention walk around one without anything major. So I'm happy with this. This is going to go in the box with all the Sonics and it's done. The reason for this one is this little crystal that needs to go right on the end, fit somehow onto here and be done with. It needs to be clear, it needs to fit, and it needs to be nice like that. Hooray! Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. I'm not sure if you do it on the side of the crystal or the edge of the crystal. It's entirely the model maker's prerogative. 2, I don't know which one's right. There are some which have it in the side, there's some which have it on the edge, but I need to make a clear one of these. This all works. I'll show you this. I took the screw out because I still need to get in and out of it. It lights up anyway. Now, I could do with somewhere along here, maybe these little vents here. I'll show you right underneath where these parts, there's a gap there. Just drilling these out and sanding them out. I'm sure you can see them right there. There they are, below here. Tiny gap that they make the sound escape. Because it is hearable. It's just not very loud hearable. But that's for the future, that's for whatever. If I get annoyed with it, fine. It's actually not a bad looking thing. When I put the screw into the switch there, it will be fine. You touch and it works. You've seen that in the last one. But what I need to do on this is create a clear crystal, because light doesn't go through this like you saw. Now, the shape, the size, and whatever for this is absolutely spot on for that Sonic. But there are little problems with where it's connected there to the rest of the Sonic, there and there. You can just tell them a little bit. Plus, where I cut it, you've lost the actual saw cut of it, so I've built it up a little bit. So this is actually what size and shape I actually want it as. I mean, even if it kind of cuts in a little bit on the edge, I'm not really fussed, it's fine. But with it being clear, and that builds up, that's only hot glue, just to build something up. I need the cast to be this big, exactly this big. If it's too long on the bottom, fine, so be it, but it does curve in too. I'm not sure how to do that. Basically, that's just hot glue dabbed on, let dry, sanded the side, cut the side a little bit, try and get a straight edge, sand it down, and we're done. And it's, when it's down, it's as near as damn it flat. So I'm happy enough with that, having a flat bottom, so it'll stick directly to the proper screwdriver. So what I need to do is make a cast. Now, I'm going to do this, I'm going to follow off camera, because this is going to be, one is going to be messy, one isn't. There's 2 ways that I've found that I can afford to make something like this. I could buy resin, no, I've got resin, I could buy the silicone and make a mould. That's not a problem. I've done that before in the past, but not on the channel. But I want to use something I have already got. So I've got some clear silicone. It will either work or it won't. If it doesn't work, then I'll be going through anything and everything to try and find some silicone, make this off camera, and then pour with, I only need a little bit anyway, 2-part epoxy. Well, clear resin at least anyway. I mean, it looks a bit pink, purple, whatever else, because people on eBay sell this as, I said, the cheapest, what crystal clear stuff is on eBay for selling for jewellery anyway, so it's fine. It's the same sort of stuff. I don't mind. I love playing with bubbles anyway. Fine. So that's what we're going to be pouring that out of. We don't need too much. But at the minute, two methods of doing this. One, it's getting silicone, getting more than enough what you need for a mould. And what I'm going to probably do is use one of the cups that came with the resin, fill that with it, and then push in this inside it. Let the silicone set, done. One method is putting this in cold water, soapy cold water, mosh it with your hands, which then gets to a decent consistency where it's drying, because the water will dry it out a little bit. Shove it in as much as you possibly can, pack it really down, force your part in and let it set. The second way involves corn flour. Now, one person had a bad experience with this, but eventually got a good mix with it. It's basically mixing what you need from here, putting some food colouring in, because the food colouring apparently, according to him, did make this set a little bit quicker, and then you mix it with the cornstarch, because that'll start to make it a little bit more pliable. Once you've got a bowl of silicone, put it into the pot and then you're done. However, another person used this method. It just went to mush for ages, so you need to work it a lot and let it dry a lot before you can actually use it, so it made an absolute mess. So I won't be doing that on the bench. I'll be doing that behind me, on where I can clean up a lot easier and see what I can do. So this is what I'm going to do off camera. I'm going to try, which is the easiest. Yeah, but we'll try whichever one works and try and get a silicone mould to get this thing started and almost finish this project. Mixture one is done, not fully set, but this is the problem. This is silicone sealant, clear, in washing up liquid. Mush it in your hands as much as you can. There's a certain level that you get to where it starts to thicken up, and I think I missed it. Put your piece in and the pieces come back out again quite a bit, but I think I could get around that. I should have basically just squidged things over a little bit more, which I haven't. It's setting, but I'm going to leave that to set. So that's that version. The next version is the corn syrup and the food colouring. I'm not looking forward to, because it's going to be an absolute mess. Plus I need that piece anyway to be done and sorted, so I'm going to give it 20 minutes. But that's it. Actually, I'll leave this outside because it's a lovely day here today. And I'm going to reuse the pot actually. So we've got, it's potentially, but I don't know. I really don't know yet. We'll see what happens. The off button doesn't work. Great. Now I'm just setting up for the second mix, but I thought I'd show you this now. This is out. This is done. This is happy. Here's the mould, and I don't know if you can see inside there. I'll get a torch and it's a little easier, I think. Hopefully. No, that don't make it easy at all. Is it real? No. But inside there is the pattern. Now I think I might have taken this out too early. I might not have mixed this too good. But there we go, lines. This might actually be acceptable. I'm going to let this dry. Like I say, it's a hot day today. I'm going to leave it to do whatever, and I'm going to start mixing this. But that actually, I'm surprised. Tiny bit tacky, but I'm going to leave it to be as is. So I'm going to start mixing this lot, put this in, and see if the cornstarch and full coloring is any good. Both moulds are done. However, you may spot a problem here. This one fits in this cup here, got free with the... Yes, this one fits in the top of a Schweppes tonic bottle. Right, this one was easy enough to do because it didn't stick to the gloves all the time. If it did, you put it under soapy water as you're washing. You basically put a load in soapy water. Don't put it in your mother's sink. Use something else. Use a bucket. Use anything. Just warm soapy water. No, it does not need to be hot. Once it gets to certain, you'll feel there's a certain consistency where it goes a tiny bit like it's not sticking as much. Get it in a pot. Get your mould in. Leave it to dry. Done. Happy enough. I'm sorted. The corn flour, cornstarch, whichever way you want to call it, you pour it in as it is. You mix with the food colouring, doesn't matter what colour. I put a bit of black in here, it's come out dark grey. then you mix it all together, then you put it in cornstarch, corn flour, and you mix it as best you can. And your gloves, trust me, wear gloves and make sure you're in a well ventilated area, because that way most of the smells were underwater, or at least trapped by the water. This, you get it smack straight in the face, silicone sealant. If you've got a fan, if you've got an open area, if you've got a garage like I have, make sure the door's open, make sure the fan is on. I know with the cornstarch it's not easy. However, you're going to be it's stuck up my nostrils already, this. But mix it, mix it, mix it. The problem is most of it is stuck all over your hands and not as a ball. So I needed to mix twice as much of this stuff than I actually did. So that's why I've ended in with a small amount, but it's enough to squeeze the piece in. And it's actually better inside it there than it was inside here anyway. I might need a little bit of trimming to do in this one. So what I'm going to do, see, I can actually open that, and yeah, it's never going to stand up on its own, so it will have to be put back in here. So that's good-ish. So I'm going to leave these to dry for quite a while before I even attempt to do anything. I would recommend spraying some silicone relief spray into either your pot before you put your stuff in. That has got some in anyway, so this should be easily released. If not, bottom off, I can push that out. That'll be really easy. So I'm going to leave these to dry and properly set. That's not far off, I don't think. It's very flexible, but it might do pretty well with the resin in. I don't think it's straight. I don't think that hole at the bottom's straight. Oh well, I could possibly put it in there at slight angle anyway. But these are going to set, then I'm going to start mixing some epoxy to see what I can do with these. I mean, this is doomed for failure, I know it is, but I've got to try it just to see what happens. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'll buy some proper silicone. If it does work, bargain. Now, second one is done. Absolute nightmare. Yeah. I can get this out of the mould quite easily. Bit of pushing, bit of pulling. I've put that screw in there so it goes through the hot glue that I put extra on the piece itself to hopefully try and get it out. Unfortunately, it feels like it's icing, or it feels like it's very delicate, but I'm not sure if it's delicate because it is, or because it's just got the corn flour starch on it. I just want to try and be careful and get this out without... I mean, it's been a while and I'm not 100% certain it's actually set. It is coming. Oh, there it goes. Done. Okay. So that's the end of that piece. And do I leave this for a while to set? Because have we got anything in there? Can't even see. Let's have a look. Can we get a light inside there? No. There's a line there. There are lines inside it, so it's actually done a relatively good mould. So I'm not quite sure. That's set. That's done, you know. So I'll leave that in there. Make sure it's level, because that won't be level because the bottom of there wasn't level. I think. See how the two of them, I quite like this one. However, this is very, very flexible and stinks like silicone sealant. Absolutely reeks of it. Surprisingly, this one doesn't. It's almost like the food colouring and the starch has actually took away the smell of the silicone, whereas this one just reeks now. Even though making this in the water, it didn't smell like silicone. So it's a bit contradictory. I don't know whether I dare make... Actually, I don't need to do that because I'm going to squash these things in. Dare pour things in now or leave it? See, that's, I've just pushed that in too far now. The mould, there we go, out it comes. See, it's not bad actually. I think we will try it, you know. I'm going to let that settle in and just rest on there so I can easily get it out again. Make sure it's level. Now, to mix. This is not a how-to video. Well, it is a how-to video, but it's kind of whatever. Part A, part B. You use on these, at least, they are equal amounts. There are different ones that do 25% or is on weight or whatever else. I want to put in enough for 2 of these, but how to measure 2 of those, I don't know. Is that probably twice as much? So I'd probably go up to 40mm, but then if I do that, if it's 20mm of hardener and 20mm of resin, there'd just be enough. So I want to go more than that, but then it's twice as much because it's not as much. So I'd say 20mm of each would do 2, but I'm going to do 30mm of each. That leaves me 60. That's that much, so I can gently pour into and into. So I'm going to do 30mm of each. I have got plenty of this stuff to go around, so technically we should be fine. I mean, it does say 8 ounce. Whoever uses ounce nowadays, it's ridiculous. No warning, no nothing or anything on this, but use gloves, use a well ventilated area, non-flammable, non-voc and low odor. Just treat it like it's whatever, and make sure you just protect yourself. Okay, so I'm going to get the other mat out. I'm going to start mixing, because this will take a while to put 30mm in each one of these. Well, yeah, I could probably put... This is what gets me a little bit. Some people said make sure you fill whatever in there and whatever in there and then mix together, which is fine. Why can't you mix 30mm in there and then go up to 60mm in there? The other one, mix like crazy. I think I want to put more hardener in, to be honest, because a lot of people have used this and complained about it on Amazon, and it's still too flexible. I don't want a flexible crystal. I want a rock solid crystal that will slot into the end of the Sonic. So let's get cracking, shall we? I mean, this thing might not work. This might work. I don't know. If it doesn't, then we'll work on what we've got. So leave me for as long as you want, and I will be back with, hopefully, the pouring of these. Now mixing, I've put 30 in each, 30mm in each one. The resin to the left, hardener to the right. I've mixed directly from one bottle to the other, so I'm spare a little canister anyway. So I've just got over 60 millilitres in here. All you can do is mix this and mix this and mix this. So enough is not enough. Just keep going, because you don't want this to be unmixed properly. I probably recommend, if you've got one of those cappuccino sort of frothers, if you get one of those and stick it in and spin it around, it might take a little less than sticking a lollipop stick in, and getting on with it. Scrape along the sides, make sure you're mixing everything in, because if one drop of this, well, I don't know, it depends on who's doing what really. If it's all mixed around pretty much, then yes, it's going to be fine. Just going to make sure it's round. I'll carry on doing this because this is going to take a little while. I want to make sure it's properly mixed. It's going to be liquid for quite a while yet anyway, and I'm going to try and pour it as high a stream as I can, which basically means that if you put it as pouring it in blob, you're going to trap air in there. Like at the moment there's a lot of air inside here, and that'll show inside the crystal. I want it as clear as possible, so it's not going to be doing anything. So if you have this, so you're pouring it, but the stream that comes off of the bottle is as thin as the air will dissipate. That's the theory anyway. If you've got a better way of doing this, please do that. I am an amateur. Just, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. There's still no guarantees that these moulds actually won't be any good. So leave me to mix for a few minutes and come back when I pour. Mixing done. Right, the only problem I can see in here is this is absolutely cake full of bubbles. So I'm going to do... which one first? Let's do the one we made first. Now if you can possibly squeeze this in, try and make a bit of a nozzle, but try and pour as high as you possibly can. That could, should and will dissipate the bubbles, but it's absolutely full of them. I don't know if I leave this for a bit and just hope for the best. And they are coming to surface and popping. And you can see them popping in there. Well, I could see a few of them in there. But, right, let's have a try, shall we? If this works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like I said, it doesn't, it's not guaranteed that that's not going to work anyway. Well, I've got black bits on here. Stuff in the garage. So, let's try and pour. Hopefully, with it still being liquid, it's going to stay. Right, so I'm going to pour. So I've got this mat down, I'm not going to cover everything. Get right high. Am I on top? Yeah, right. Missed. I've got a fan on in the background as well, which is not helping the pour, but it is helping my, it's too hot in here. Thinnest stream as I can get, all the way to the top, and I will cut off the excess later. There's a lot of bubbles on the top of there, so let's keep that flat. Apparently that does work as well. That's more the hole. See, that's not level. Well, I definitely mixed far too much. way too much. Now what else could I use this resin for? I don't know. Let's see if I can just smooth that off there. No. There's absolutely nothing for it. I thought I'd put my arm in it then. So I've used resin before on doing a couple of phases. But again, it was off camera, it wasn't filmed. It was ages ago now. So we need to let that set. Keep this well out of the way. Do a little bit more over here, that's fine. So there's lots of bubbles on the top of this one. Do I put a little bit more in that one? Yeah, that's way more than enough. Oh, we're nearly not that over. Okay, I've got half a pot left over. How much did I use? I have virtually used nothing. I've still got 60ml in there. Oh, Ralph. I need to find something else I can use that for. Moment of truth. Seems to have set rather well. That's actually set rather high, so it's going to be a little bit of trimming around there. Actually, it might be way too thick, to be honest, so but I might have to grind that down. That's kind of gone in a little bit. There might have been too much, but that might be better anyway. So we'll see what happens. Before I on whatever these, get these out of the silicone, I actually found something to do with the spare resin. Now, I've been after an idea like this for quite a while anyway. This is probably the first part of a lot of. But if you watch the channel, I've done a lot of tech teardowns and repairs and all sorts of stuff. And to be honest, you're left with a lot of spare parts. So what I've done is chuck them all in. So there's resistors, capacitors, chips in there from builds. It could have done with a few more, to be honest, but it's almost like a paperweight. So to try and get this out, I don't know. Right, I'll have to squeeze to try and get this off. It's still stuck in there. I hope it's dry. If not, I'll take it out and see if it'll dry better on its own. I've seen people hit these. There's a guy I watch a lot anyway, Nick Zametti. I'm sure he doesn't watch anything of my stuff, and it just does tons of stuff in resin, woodworking usually. Actually, I don't think it's done right with that bolt. But he'll get stuff like this, he'll break it open and stuff. I can reuse it. Oh, coming out. If I can reuse it, then fine. I'll just snap off whatever was on the edge of here and then take out. That is done. That is solid. That is not flexible. That's good. That's what I wanted. So what Nick Zametti will do, he'll put this on a lathe, turn it down to make something out of it, but I just quite like it as a paperweight. It's got the numbers in this side. Oh no. Right, that's fine. That's not a problem. It's kind of, yeah, it'll stay there. But I do think it looks quite funky. These are trapped now forever, some microchips. I think they're from a Spectrum. Some old LEDs, ones I did from a Merlin. Yeah, I think it's a nice little, not too heavy, but at least it's used the rest of the resin up anyway and the capacitor there. I don't know what will happen to that capacitor, because these will eventually discharge, well, the acid or whatever might come out inside them. I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future. So that's actually a very big success, that. So that puts me okay for these. Now, the silicone wasn't too in here anyway. Plastic, that's okay, that's plastic, not silicone. It's stuck to the edge there. So a little bit poured down and gone down the edge there, so I might have knocked this. I think, there it is. Yeah, it's on the inside there, but that is still wet. But it's from the same mix. So I don't know what's happened there. Now, to get this out. It's very wet on the side of there. Might have been something that's not mixed properly or reacted with this silicone. That's my only worry on this. So, I don't want to destroy this yet. However, if it does, it does. Then we are back to square one. Let's try and... Oh. Oh. Now that's interesting. So as that's rock solid, and this is still wet, but the texture is absolutely spot on what I want. So I'm going to leave that out. Yes, it is still wet. And I don't know why. This has been here for a couple of days now. I'm going to put this on something. Maybe it's just reacted with the silicone. Maybe the silicone wasn't dry enough when we actually did this. Actually, what I need is another mat, as I'm not going through yet again more redo on the set. So we have one there which is actually really good. For clear wise, I'm actually really impressed with that. Now, it's, do you know what I mean? It's stuck. So I'm going to have to just cope with me having blue paper on my fingers. Right, let's push this out. So it's coming out okay out there. This is the one I want it to work on. I mean, I know we never put this through a pressure kiln, pressure pot, but it's just a case of just gently coaxing it out, coaxing that extra flash of plastic off of the mould. Come in there, and I can even use that to pull the thing out, which I can't now. That did seem rather solid. That's good. Ooh, hello. I think this might be dry. Oh, look at that. That is a lot. Hold on, hold on. I think it's a tiny bit wet. The inside there is done. That is exactly what I was looking for. I mean, I've still got that little notch on them anyway, but I could probably put that directly onto the Sonic. Let's have a look if it'll work. Come on, this is the same copy of. Let's do it there. Right, so now I've got the button fitted back on here. Let's see if this works. Oh! Oh! It lights up right on the end. It's not even level. It lights up at the bottom. I can cover up the bottom part there up. Oh, I am so happy with that. I'll get that level. I'll get that sanded down so the bottom's level. Oh, that is just absolutely spot on. I mean, the thing with that, that's opaque almost. It's not clear as what's on there, but the outside is opaque. This one needs trimming down, but no, I don't want to play with that one because that will be clear. But I'm actually really, really happy with that. For a first and second attempt, with very little experience beforehand, I am absolutely impressed. So we'll leave this to the weekend. All three of them actually, even though that's actually done pretty well. I am so happy. Let me get you in closer to them and I'll move the thing around. I mean, there's the nice little paperweight I've made. To the left. It's, yeah, it needs trimming, but it needs to dry, this one. This is the clearer, more frosted sort of look. That one is the more opaque. So I've got to choose between them both. So can I get them both in a zoom in? Where's my finger? That's the wrong part there. There we are. See the difference? I'm tempted on either. That's absolutely really good. It's not perfect as in whatever, but I think to come from, get the other one in. I think to come from that, I ain't done bad. I really ain't done bad at all. So I'm gonna let this set, dry, whatever, and we'll work on them at the weekend. Cool. Now the crystals dried, sorted, done, and I'm very, very happy with them. Now I'm going to show you these two. This one was the original, 3D printed, plastic with a bit of hot glue on the bottom, which was fine for what it was. This was the clear one, which it looks not fully clear, but you can see through, which is fine, except it didn't come out absolutely perfect. There's kind of bits on the bottom there, which, you know, I sanded down to make a flat surface anyway, but it wasn't perfect. But I was okay with this. This would have gone on. If this would have come out, it would have been fine. It'd have been on the end of the Sonic, just like this one. I mean, the clear looks good. However, I did want this opaque one on there. You can't see through it, but you can see through it. There is detail there. And to be honest, this is the final Sonic. This is it. The other one is over there in the box, happily being with its own, well, with the rest of the Sonics. It's not bad, this one. It's kind of, it's all there. It's all nicely covered. It's glued in, well, it's actually resined in place as well. There's some imperfections on here which I think I got away with quite well. So this is the thing with it, it wasn't meant to be perfect. And there you go. The button works. The button is very, very close on there. But it's, like I say, it is quiet. This isn't a problem with this. It is very quiet. But it does, if you look carefully on this, it lights up from the bottom. It lights very well from the top on camera. But there's kind of a band, where I see it, there's a band just above where these cable parts are. It's lovely and blue at the top. It reflects back into itself all right. This bottom bit I can see there, you can just see the reflection. This is me look at my own screen on the camera, but it's pretty good. I am really happy with it. And on camera, for some reason, there you go, I think that's probably best. It does show half-half, but it's a different shade of blue that I'm seeing. I could do with changing the switch underneath here, but I think I'm quite happy with just having the one. Could do with being a bit more clicky. The more we've used that switch, the more it's actually become. Actually, there you go. It's actually become a little bit iffy, but works every time. Works absolutely every time. and I am really happy with this. To say it started off as a 3D print, and then turned into a project with Schweppes bottles, and even a little bit of a Retro Tech Ralph memento of things that I've repaired. Nothing over the top, just kind of things with the spare stuff. It means that I can do things with resin that I've got the confidence now of trying things with resin. Whether or not it's just something like this, or making parts for that, or both of these methods that I did work. The silicone on its own, hot, well, warm water. Yes, it works, except it still stinks like silicone. And then the second way with the food colouring and the corn flour, corn starch, yes, it worked as well. So it just kind of weirded out. One of them came out. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that this is probably just the corn starch, which is quite weird. And that did come out perfectly flat. So it's a bit odd. However, both methods for me worked. I'm not saying it'll work for you. This was a first attempt, honestly, and it did actually work. I mean, whether or not I try anything like this in the future, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I hope you enjoyed that. This is what you can get from a 3D print. Make a little bit of an idea, experiments, faffing around, trying things new. And then you can get a sonic screwdriver that you can't buy in the shops. A working sonic screwdriver you can't buy in the shops. It's a shame that the noises really isn't that loud, because I am protecting, I'm covered over everything, which I'm not going to bother doing. It's fine as it is. I'm happy enough with it. So yes, done and done. Try one yourself. Please comment below. Please tell me things I've done wrong. Please tell me if I've done things right. Please tell me you're happy. Tell me you're sad. Tell me whatever. Any ideas and everything that you can come out with that I can try for other projects. That in mind, thank you very much for watching. It's been a lovely little thing to make myself, and I'm really proud that I didn't just go out and buy one and just, hey, there it is. And I've got the two that are doing, one's static and one's an actual light up sound version. So yeah, please like, subscribe, follow me on social media. I will see you in another video. Might not be a Doctor Who one, might be something else, Star Trek, technology, day trips out, anything and everything. If you want to help the channel, you want to donate something, you want to help out with a little bit of cash, please, the links are in the description below. Channel description if you want to actually donate something physical, if you got something that's broke. But then you got a load of Sonics that just don't work and I could possibly do some sort of art project with them. Please get in touch. Message me, email me, Twitter me, everything, Facebook me, and message below. Everything's there waiting for you to help me out and help the channel out, because I really do need the help. So, that in mind, thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.